Hey everyone, guys, gals, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Nightmare Before Christmas because I've just been to see it today. I went to a throwback showing at the Everyman at Liverpool, and I also saw Heretic for a second time. Now, Nightmare Before Christmas, I'll talk about that one first because that's the one that, I hadn't seen in a long time, and it's obviously, getting closer and closer to Christmas now. So it's like those of you who've seen it, obviously the story of Jack Skellington and that. But for me personally, when I was younger, when this film was first released, I wasn't a massive fan of it. But I knew a lot of people who were and stuff like that. So I thought, you know what, it's in the cinema, I'll go and I'll give it a go. Because obviously when it very first came out, I was dead young. Like I was dead young when it was first released in the cinema. I think I was 5 when it first came out. So yeah, I thought I'll give it a go. And you know what? I'm glad I did, because there's certain films that I do feel that you do need that sort of big screen experience for, and I felt like a bit like this was one of them. So the story is, Jack Skellington stumbles upon a woods, there's a Christmas tree door, and he goes through it and finds Christmas Town, and obviously gets amazed by Christmas Town, and you know what ensues if you've seen it already. So yeah, which I'm guessing now most people will have. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it this time. I thought it was really, really good. The performances in it, obviously, the voice acting performances in it were really good. And I think being older and stuff, you can pick up on the emotions and stuff like that a bit more. So yeah, so that's Nightmare Before Christmas. Thumbs up. Yeah. So we'll get into, obviously, the other one, which was, again, I've spoken about this 3 separate times now, but I just love it so much, and that is Heretic. For me, personally, this film, I said it when I first saw it, and I think now, having seen it again, it's when you get to Oscar season, I'm strongly expecting at least a nomination for Hugh Grant for Best Actor, because I do think that he plays this role so well, and you're watching him as Mr. Reeds closely. Obviously with this being the second time that I've seen it, I was watching his performance sort of even more closely, and I liked it even more because you're thinking, like looking at different things that he does, and the way that he emotes, and the way he does certain things, and the way like he'll turn certain phrases and things like that, and you're just thinking, you can see just how amazing of an actor he is, because he is an amazing actor. I've always said that, but to see him in this good of a role so late on in his career, and for it to be one of his best roles that he's ever done, I would say this, you could say this was his best role that he's done. Really, he is that good in it. I think that he's amazing in this Heretic, Hugh Grant, 100%, and it makes me happy because as someone who's been a fan of his for so long, I mean, Notting Hill is, I watch that yearly. Like, I'll watch it not even around Valentine's Day. I'll just watch it. Like, last time I watched it was in July. I was in a hotel in London. And I just thought they had Netflix on their TV, so I thought, why not? Because that's a really, really good performance by him, and Julia Roberts as well. But yeah, and also I'm going to go do a bit inside the mind of a character as well today. I thought I'd do a bit of each. Well, obviously I've done my film reviews, and I thought, you know what, I'll do it because I was on the train coming back from Liverpool where I went to see it, and I just was writing out, and I thought, you know what, I'll do Harry Potter today. I'll do Harry Potter as today's Inside the Mind of, because I do feel like as a character, even though he's a hero, but I do feel like he is a very complex character, and you know, as time goes on throughout the books, and obviously in the films as well, he sort of becomes more angry, and he's a very, very good character to dive into the mind of, because, you know, obviously, like, he's grown up his whole life up until the age of 11 thinking what happened to his parents happened one way, and then obviously he finds out happens another, and you can see, even though like it leaves a mark, obviously not just the scar, but you can see that having been lied to his whole life, you can definitely tell that he doesn't really trust easily, especially, you know, obviously he trusts Ron and Hermione, but, you know, you can just tell that, you know, there is something in there. And I think it's like in the Order of the Phoenix when Seamus is talking to him about like how Cedric died and stuff like that. You can just, when he says what he says about his mum and stuff, you can just see that it's always there simmering under the surface with him. So I do think that psychologically, because that is something that I'm very, very interested in. Obviously, that's why I'm calling this series Inside the Mind, because I'm very interested in psychology and what makes people do the things they do and things like that. So I thought, you know what, it's a good way of scratching that itch, shall we say, because it is something that I am very interested in. Like, I listen a lot to Jordan Peterson, and like, you know, I listen a lot to what he says, and when, you know, as a clinical psychologist, and what he said about, you know, when he talks about his clients on videos and stuff like that, and so it is something that I've always been very, very passionate about and very interested in. So I thought, why not it's an itch that I can scratch, and I'm sure that a lot of people out there watching this will obviously it's something that people will want to know about, like, you know, researching what goes into making these characters tick, and how their minds work and things like that. And I just thought, you know what, it's a good one to talk about. So yeah, so obviously with going back to Harry Potter, we know that he is brought up by his aunt and uncle until he's 11, and then obviously his aunt and uncle told him what happened to his parents. And then obviously going on, you know, we find out about Voldemort, we find out what really happened, and then obviously going forward, you know, he then starts going down a different path, and you go into the Chamber of Secrets and what happens there, and what, you know, every sort of near experience he has, you know, it just shapes his character even more. And then obviously he sees so many of his friends and people that he cares about suffer, like sees Cedric Diggory, sees Sirius Black, he sees so much of it. And then obviously at the end, then, you know, obviously if you've seen the films and read the books, you know exactly where it goes towards the end. So yeah, I just thought he'd be a good character to do, and it's obviously, for me as well, it's just building up and building up and building up. I'm thinking about next time, I think the next one I'm going to properly research into is Walter White, because Breaking Bad is one of my absolute favourite TV shows. I think it's one of the best pieces of television ever made, and I know a lot of people do feel that way as well. That is one of the top TV shows for me. So probably Walter White in the next one. Normally what I've been doing is I've been like going away and researching characters and things like that. But Harry Potter, I've read the books so many times that, you know, I kind of can just talk about Harry Potter off the cuff, because I listen to the audiobooks all the time and watch films, read the books. So yeah, I can just talk about Harry Potter. I can literally, if anyone's got any Harry Potter questions, by all means do ask, because I can pretty much answer any question. Oh, also do subscribe to the channel. Helps the channel out greatly. If you're still here, that is. I know I've left it like a bit late now, but you know, it's 9 minutes in. But yeah, do subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you in the next one.